guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. I'm so excited for today's video. Welcome back. Okay, this was not the video I was planning to upload today, but when this came in the mail, I couldn't not. I haven't talked to you guys about new releases or anything in a while. We'll have a video like that soon coming up, I promise. But I did it. I bought the new Pat McGrath palette. This is part of the holiday collection. This is the Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey Artistry Palette. So I'm so excited to do a first impressions with you guys today. I do have detailed swatches in here. I'm gonna have timestamps down below if you guys wanna check them out and skip around to where you wanna be. I am by no means a Pat McGrath expert, just putting it out there. So many other people have like every palette, could give you comparisons, all that stuff. I don't, okay? I've bought one other Pat McGrath palette before. That was the Bronze Seduction, and to be honest, I have a love-hate relationship with this. I love these flaky shadows. They're so good. That's what's keeping this palette in my collection. But then I didn't love other things in here. I will say that since, you know, initially buying this palette, I have kind of understood, or I don't know, I've just been into more luxury formulas. So I didn't love like the Lila palette from Natasha Denona, kind of at a similar time when I bought this. But now with trying more Natasha Denona stuff, I do like Natasha Denona's formula. I'm very into it, especially at the moment. And so I just felt like it was like Pat McGrath's time to shine. I love her artistry. I think she's so talented. I've just been wary about trying something, but when this came out and that price point, this is $78. Her normal palettes are $125. So an amazing price point considering. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it and let this be a bit of like a brand new introduction to Pat McGrath for me. Let me see if, you know, if I wanna buy more palettes down the line, if maybe I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay away. So that's what part of my thought process into getting this was. It has 18 shades in here and it is quite large, which is not normally my style, especially lately, but I kind of was regretting not getting last year's palette, like looking back now. So I was like, I'm not gonna live to regret it. I'm just gonna get it, see what it's like. And I'm really excited to keep playing around with it. A little bit of a spoiler here. If you're looking for those really special shades, specifically like the ones in here, I'm not sure we're getting those in here. There's a few that like come close or are like special, but just not like the same PC sparkly goodness that I just like drool over, you know? But some really pretty shadows are in here and I'm really excited for this palette. But then again, I don't have a lot of the other ones, so this is all fresh and new to me and I don't really have to deal with the potential repeats or anything like that. So I think I'm gonna keep this intro shorter and sweeter if I can. We're already at like 4 minutes, so I don't know how short it really is. But let's get into swatches, then we'll get into the eye look and I'll talk about kind of what I'm thinking going forward, all that type of stuff in the end. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so here is the palette. The packaging is really quite beautiful. It's like raised here with like a metallic, and then on the back, it has the shade names and kind of the placement and everything, again, with that same like golden and red motif. The outer packaging looks exactly the same too, just in case you were wondering, and it has the ingredients on it. When you open this up, it's like a flat, lays flat, and it has like a magnetic closure on it. And then it has these kind of ribbons on the side to hold the mirror up if you wanted to have it almost like laptop style, you know? I'm gonna peel this off right now. Wow, so nice. Ooh. The mirror looks really great. And then we have obviously the shadows. I don't know if I love this. I might cut these, I don't know. Anyway, here we are with the shadows. I was excited for this. I thought that the swatches looked pretty. I loved that you got a lot of shadows. I don't normally like that in, you know, palettes, but I think because it's Pat McGrath, the price point, all this stuff, I was like, ooh, I get to try out more like luxury formula, a more affordable price. I don't see anything that's like super flaky and textured like some of the other shadows in the Bronze Seduction palette that I love and that keep me from getting rid of that palette. But yeah, let's swatch these out. All right, so that is the first row there. Really quite beautiful. There are two mattes, and then in the center are all the sparkly shades. They're really quite beautiful. None of them are super flaky. I would say the most special one is this one here, but it's like kind of more duochrome-y. But all of them look absolutely stunning still, even if they're not like super special sparkly shades. So I'm very happy and pleased with those so far. So excited to try them out. Here is the second row, very like pink. I'm like really excited about this, but I can't imagine if you're someone who gets all the Pat McGrath stuff, this seems like so much that would be in the rose palettes and the quads even. I'm excited for it for me, but still, you know, some of these mattes and all that, I think if you're a big time collector, this would probably be pretty redundant. All right, and here is the last row. This one is quite beautiful. This is the only one that has anything resembling some of these special shades. And even this one is slightly different than what I've experienced. So here it is up close a little bit more. Beautiful bronze. These are more like kind of satiny metallics. Again, same with these. This one's the only one that has like that sparkle that I'm, you know, like love. You can see it especially on my finger. I am excited overall. Like I'm excited to get these on my eyes. I'm excited for the palette for what it is, but I'm just thinking of people who love Pat McGrath, and I could see a lot of repeats. I'm actually gonna go get the palette I have to show you the special shades and like why they're special and how there aren't any in here. So here is the Bronze Seduction palette, and this one has 3 of these really special flaky shades. You can see already just this, how just absolutely incredibly sparkly they are. I mean, nothing really compares. It is so hard for me to get rid of this palette for those 3 shades alone. They're just so stunning. And like I said, the closest thing is this green one to these, where it's really showing like multi-dimensional, but it's not the same. It's not the same. So if you were wanting the flaky shades and those like special Pat shades, I don't find that they're in this palette. But if you're just looking for a really nice luxe formula so far from just Swatches, you know, we're gonna put them on the eyes, we'll see. But I think that you would be happy. And again, you can't beat the price, so that's why I'm really happy as well. These are like drier too, and that's like one of the things that I love about them. They're so piecey and dry that they can top over things so nicely. All right, anyway, I mean, enough of that. They're just so stunning, you guys. So stunning. Let's get this on the eyes. Let's try this thing out, see how it is. I'm excited to try some Pat McGrath out, so let's go. All right, guys, let's get started on the look. I'm so excited. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. There are so many beautiful colors to pick from. I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm totally drawn into the green, but I also do want something neutral. I do. I think I'm gonna go in with these like this pinky mauve first. Taking a fluffy blending brush, I'm gonna be using this in the inner and outer corner. I'm thinking about doing like a halo eye. It's kind of my thought. So I'm just keeping it closer to the lid, and then I'm gonna blend out once I've kind of laid that down. Definitely that same kind of pigmented matte that I expect, and that truthfully sometimes I struggle with a little depending on the blending. Like I just like to take my time to make sure I can blend everything out, because I do like things a little wispier. I'm actually taking a smaller pencil brush for that inner corner just so I can get more targeted application there and it doesn't go everywhere since it is so pigmented, but I do want to do like a bit of a halo eye. I think it'll be super glam. I'm also using that to kind of deepen up the pink on the outer edge. All right, the shade I think I'm gonna use is right next to it. This one here, I think it might be called Rose Venus. Oh yeah, that is so pretty. This is what I was excited about, was just getting to test out more of the shimmers, even if they aren't the most glittery, because I have been into that kind of luxe formula. So I'm just tapping that on with my finger. I'm tapping it kind of over everything that we have down, just over everything. I'm taking that blending brush we used before, and with that new product on, I'm kind of just buffing lightly, but just even more. I just want it to be a lot more faded than it is right now. I'm really just trying to soften up where this color ends. But to do that, again, light pressure on the brush, because I don't want any pigment that might be in the brush deposit it on. I'm really just using the little tiny wispies to blend what is touching. All right, I think that looks really pretty. Super like simple, but pretty. I'm tempted to like add the brown, but I kind of want to keep it pink and blush. For the brow bone, I'm gonna go in with this shade here, and I'm gonna go with like a fluffier brush, hopefully to diffuse some of that color. Oh yeah, so stunning. I'm also putting that shade on the inner corner, but I'm keeping it really tight to the inner corner. I'm not like doing as blown out of a look as I normally would. I know that you guys want me to use the green. I know. So I'm gonna use the green, but I'm gonna keep it right here. Very, very pointed. It's very like shimmery and flaky. I can't wait to bust that one out with the browns. It's gonna be so pretty. For the outer corner, I'm using a liner, a brown one, and I'm just gonna start lining. I'm gonna take a pencil brush now, and that first matte shade we used, the rose kind of color, and I'm just gonna blend that out. I'm also tapping just a little bit more of the rose color on the outer edge. I just wanna see if I can deepen it without adding the brown, because I wanna keep it pink. I mean, but is it not so pretty? Like, it's so beautiful. Last thing I think I'm gonna do, I'm taking this other kind of like, it's pink and it kind of flips green. And I'm just gonna tap that on the center of my lid. I don't even think you're gonna be able to tell with everything else going down, but I did it. I did it anyway. I'm gonna add some mascara and I'll show you guys the final look. All right guys, so here is the final look. I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit more so you can really see it. So pretty, that green is very sparkly, even if it's not exactly like the textural, flaky, like the same thing as in the Bronze Seduction that I love. It definitely gives that sparkle, like so nice. So glad I used it. So pretty. Okay, anyway, I love like everything about this look. I think it's really stunning, beautiful. I feel pretty in it, which is like always #1 goal. But let me give you guys some like first impressions, thoughts. So I am really excited to continue using this palette. First off, like I am really happy that I bought it so far. I love the way this look turned out. Going into this, I definitely thought of this palette as like a cheaper way to try Pat McGrath and kind of get a little bit more immersed into her universe and try her shadows a little bit more than just the Bronze Seduction, which like I mentioned, I do have like a love-hate relationship with. I really love the shades that I chose to use today. I think they're very like neutrally type everyday shades and I can't wait to keep using them. I know there are so many other like everyday looks though to be had in here and that makes me really excited. I obviously wish there were more special shades in here, more close to the ones like those flaky, really piecey shades. There's nothing quite like that in here, but you do get something similar or like a taste, I guess you can, maybe like shimmery light, if you will, from the green shade. And also there's a color in here called Bronze Nova that is like duochromatic and it's not like piecey, but it does have like this bronze, pink, and then kind of golden yellow flip to it. So those two are a little bit more special out of everything and out of the other shimmers, but I still am excited about all the other normal shimmers too. I definitely don't think you should buy this if all you're looking for and all you're excited for are those special shades, because it's really, I don't think it's going to deliver even for the like discounted $78 price point. You're really not getting that in here. With this palette, I'm excited to try more Pat McGrath, but I definitely think quads are going to be my way to go, and there's two reasons for that. One, it's a smaller color story, and I knew I was buying this large palette. I knew that going in, obviously, but I do think a quad might be best for me, even though they're quite expensive. She does tend to put some of those shimmery like special shades in there, and I do like a condensed down color story, something I can bring on the go with me, and I think I could have a lot of use out of a quad as opposed to the larger and more expensive $125 palettes. And the other reason that I think quads are going to be best for me going forward is because unfortunately Pat McGrath shades are not removable like Natasha Denona's, and I'm realizing more and more how much I absolutely love that about those palettes, because I get the luxury and the quality and the beautiful eye looks, but then I also get the fun and like the personal thing I love of switching out shades, moving them around. I wish so badly that I could could move these shadows around, move them into quads, which all had the same, you know, size pan, move them into the 12 pans, move everything around. I think that would be such an added bonus specifically for me and what I'm looking for in shadows. And that would kind of change my thoughts on like buying the bigger palettes and all the money and all the things. But since I can't do that with these, I definitely think quads and just buying that exact color story I know I'm gonna like want to use on vacation, want to use together, might be my best way of like enjoying and loving the shadows, but also getting my money's worth, you know what I mean? So just something I'm thinking about now that I have this experience. But that being said, so far, one look in, you guys, one look in. First impressions, I'm really excited about this palette. I think it's really pretty. I get why people like Pat McGrath. Like, I think I'm finally just ready to like use luxury eyeshadows and enjoy them for what they are. I also loved that this palette only had so many mattes in it in the first place. And I think specifically I'm excited for this because I don't have other Pat McGrath palettes to compare these to. So I'm not getting a bunch of repeat shades. I only have the one other palette. And so, you know, I'm not worrying about repeating these shades in here. Whereas if you are a big collector, I could see it going one of two ways, where either you're really excited because you just collect everything Pat McGrath and you're gonna get it no matter what, and you're just excited for a new release. But if you're someone trying to talk yourself out of this palette, I mean, I'm no expert. I don't have the other palettes, but those Rose Divine palettes or Divine Rose palettes, I don't know which way it goes. If you have some of those palettes, you are gonna get quite a few repeat or very, very similar shades. So you're just gonna have to decide what that is for you. But if you're someone who's been wanting to try Pat McGrath and that $78 price point is a lot more palatable to you like it is to me, I don't know. So far I'm excited about it. I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you posted on my thoughts, but I can't wait to do more looks. I'm really impressed with how today's look turned out. And yeah, those are some of my thoughts. So hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys are picking this one up or not. And if you have it, let us know your thoughts. But other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video, which will be a declutter. So make sure to stay tuned to that, but I'll see you then. Bye.